It's a she said kind of love affair.
Is love in the air, or is your relationship on the verge of destruction? Let's talk about it. Sit back,
Relax.
and enjoy your favorite cocktail as we discuss relationships, dating,
Sex.
and love. Love on the rocks, that is.
Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks.
All right, everyone, and welcome to Love on the Rocks. It's Roger the Wild Child, along with Megan Bennett. Meg,
What's up, y'all? Hi.
how are you doing?
I'm okay. It's been a long couple days, but I'm hanging in there.
I know you, and that's gonna be fitting for our topic today.
It is pretty fitting. It is.
Yes. So you've had some rough trauma going on in your life.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Mhm.
We'll get into it, but for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So this week I've been working on a new project,
Yeah.
another podcast that I will be
Okay.
launching here.
Okay.
The name of the show is going to be Daisy's Shit Show Podcast.
I feel like I need to be a guest on that
Okay, you will. We'll bring you on.
because
So
Lord
I'm
knows.
actually
Lord
because
knows.
we're going to talk about and we're going to talk to people about they're going to tell stories about their shit show life.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so our guest relationship influencer today is going to be the actual host, which I will be the co-host of Daisy's Shit Show Podcast. Here's Daisy Rampage. Daisy.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
I hear you got a
So-
podcast coming out.
Yes, super
Yeah, tell me
excited.
about it.
So the podcast is basically like just talking about not only the things that I have experienced
Right.
in my life. You know, everybody has a shit show.
Some of us a lot more than others.
Yes.
Right?
And I've found that like people don't really talk about their shit show until they're like, okay, well now it's a good time. So
Until
I
they're
feel like-
forced to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so having a podcast where we can talk about real life things that everybody goes through, hopefully
Right.
somebody can learn something from it and realize that they're not alone in their shit
Absolutely.
shows.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Agreed. So that'll be launching in March. So I'm going to be producing that and co-hosting it with her, and it's going to be her baby. So
Okay. I'm excited.
yeah,
It's gonna
Yeah,
do
I'm
good.
excited.
I'm excited.
thank you.
all right, this week relationship influencers, we have Lydia Manson with us.
Oh, I
and-
didn't know I was going to be the first one on. My bad.
Oh,
I
and
have a shit show.
Greg.
Hey,
Greg coworker.
Hi, Gregory.
Hey, Greg.
howdy.
How are
Good.
you?
I'm good.
We missed you last week, bud.
Yeah, man, it was my son's 10th birthday, so we had the big
No.
birthday dinner.
Show comes first.
Yeah,
Family
Yeah,
comes before
right.
you haven't met him.
For your biological family. So today we're going to talk about relationships after trauma. Can they truly last? And there's different areas of trauma in people's lives. It
Like
could
a squirrel on your
be
head?
a loss of a loved one. It could be infidelity in a relationship that causes trauma in the relationship. Just to name a few. So we'll elaborate more on this topic. Feel free to chime in on the comments if you have something to say or just want to say hi, or if you have a relationship or a traumatic issue that you want to know what would be the best way to overcome it and how to save your relationship. Is your relationship salvable? So we're gonna talk about these things. Megan,
Yep.
you want to go ahead and take the lead on this one?
Yeah, so crazy past couple of days that I've had, and I don't want to I want to be able to tell this but not use names out of respect for her. But one of my very best friend since 7th grade has been going through some like mental challenges lately, and we all knew it, but we didn't. She's really always been good with keeping her head up and a smile on her face, and
Mm-hmm.
even during her dark moments, like she would always keep her head up and keep a smile on her face. So none of us saw what was really going on, and she, over the past, I would say 2 weeks, really bottomed out emotionally and mentally and even physically. And Wednesday night she attempted to self-cancel, and I held her on the phone and for hours just begging her not to, and to get help. And it took me 2.5 hours of keeping her on the phone, and at the very end, this whole time, I wasn't aware that she was actively cutting herself. She kept so quiet about it and wasn't making the noise that you would expect to hear. She wasn't breathing the way that you would expect one to. She was just as
Mm-hmm.
cool and as calm. And then she got quiet, and I said, "Hey, what's going on? Why aren't you talking? Like, what are you doing?" And she sat quiet a little bit longer, and she sent me a picture message, a text message while I was on the phone with her. She was just bloody, and
Mm-hmm.
I, of course, did what any best friend would do, and I kind of took over the situation and forced. I was going to her. I had her brother going to her. I had her son coming home. I had everything that I can think of. Brother called 911. I was calling 911, but she took it upon herself to call 911. And I don't know how it happened. Her
Was it
call,
an immediate regret?
no. Mm-mm.
Okay, why did she call 911? Did she have a change of like, I can't
I
believe
was
I just
on
did
one
this?
phone with her telling her, "Crystal, you either call 911 or I'm calling 911." She didn't know that as I'm on the phone with her, I'm texting Carl, or I'm texting her brother and saying, "Hey, we need you." Um, he's calling mom and dad, waking mom and dad up, calling her son, waking her son up. And I'm trying to keep her just as cool and as calm. I didn't want her to freak out if she knew that help was on the way. And I finally, I kept just reiterating, if you don't call, I'm calling. And she took a deep breath and she just busted out in tears, and she called 911 herself.
Mm.
And it's been a whirlwind. They kept her in the ER for 2 days. Let's see, that was Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. She got to her inpatient facility on Friday, and I actually got to go see her today. And she just kept reiterating, like, "Megan, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here." And for me, that's a lot to hear. That's a lot of,
Right.
I feel so much guilt right now for not being able, like, I know her better than she knows herself. How did I miss those signs? How did I not know? And then to hear, you saved my life, and I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. And I was just doing my job. Like, I was just being a human and helping my best friend through the worst time of her life. I didn't know what else to do. It's just an emotional situation that the most scared I've been, and I couldn't even begin to tell you how long that is. I still carry a fear in me right now, even though I know she's okay where she is. I've got this
You know,
gut wrench
you,
of
you know,
fear.
yeah. And when we talk about, relationships after trauma, we're not necessarily talking about romantic relationships.
Right.
We're
Any
talking about
relationship.
family relationships, friendship relationship. How do you feel this is obviously was a life-changing thing.
Yes.
How do you feel this is going to affect her relationship with you? Do you think it'll strengthen it?
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
mhm,
It'll Crystal and I, we've had one fight in our entire lifetime. We have a bond that's it's a rare bond. I mean, she is forever just my person. Outside of my
mhm,
sister, everybody that knows me knows my sister is the queen on the pedestal to me, but Crystal's
mhm.
right there with her. And
And we're not talking about the crystal from our
no, not the
No.
right.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But I think it'll strengthen us 100%.
Mhm. Yeah, right. And you know what? And I hope that, hopefully her relationship within herself will grow from
Mhm.
this.
Right.
Maybe she realizes what she could have lost
Right.
and realizes what she really has.
It's coming
So
to
when we talk
her.
about
It's coming to her slowly, but the improvement's there, but it's going to be a long road of any relationship with her right now.
I mean,
yeah,
she's gotta fix her relationship with herself.
Right. Right.
right.
So
And
that
that's
was
going to
my
be
traumatic
key.
story.
But it's all about the support system.
It
You need
really
to have a
is.
full support
And
system.
she's got a
And
phenomenal support system.
right.
Phenomenal. We got rid of the trigger, the one behind it, the one that collapsed her. Me and mom got rid of him. So now
Mhm.
she can focus on her and getting herself back. And that's all I care about.
What was the trigger?
A man.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Um, physical, mental, emotional, financial abuse, you name it. It was there along with a hardcore manipulation. Even so much as saying when he was notified that this had happened, his response was, well, what about what I want? She promised that she was going to go to Ryland's birthday party with me and get him a present.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the type
So
of person.
Lydia, what's your take on this?
Well, you know how I am with that stuff.
Hmm.
I think it'll make you stronger.
You think so?
It may take a while to get there,
Right.
but it's going to get there.
Right. She feels a lot of embarrassment right now, and that's kind of putting a barrier. I don't want to say a barrier, but not friction either. But do you know what I mean? There's just
Yeah.
like
What
it's
did you
kind of
say? She
off.
had a son? She had a son?
Yeah, he's older. He's 20.
Okay. I
Um,
guarantee you, the day he gets married, she's going to think of you
yeah,
because she wouldn't have been there without you.
that's true. That's true.
Very true.
Any big accomplishment he has from now on, she's going to think of you.
I needed to hear that. I needed that.
AZ, do you have a take on this?
Yeah, I think like kind of what you were saying at the beginning, it's hard when you don't see it. Sometimes we all get caught up in our lives and sometimes people they just don't come to us
Hmm.
for things. Maybe they don't want to bother us or maybe they're ashamed.
We
And
feel
I
like
think
a burden.
yeah, and I think the fact that like you guys were able to have the conversation on the phone and she was willing to even just send you the picture, like she was saying, "Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready
Yeah,
to let you in." And I think that
right.
that right there solidified the bond of the friendship that you guys do have. So
Hmm.
going
Hmm.
forward, you know, um, it's gonna be good. And just like she was saying, like all of the things that she's going to get to experience and the memories to be made are going to be because of you being there for her. So
Mhm.
Thank you.
If she didn't want you to save her, she wouldn't have taken that picture and sent it.
That's true. That's true. I didn't
She
think
was
about
reaching
that.
out for attention.
That's
Well, not
Was
attention, but she
it was a cry.
she needed the push.
right.
mhm.
It was a cry for help.
So
I feel.
Yeah, the same thing like calling 911, kind of like you
Yeah.
said, Roger. Like, was this, hey, like, help me? People don't do that unless they really want to be saved, you
Right.
know?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I really, my prayers go out to you, her family, and hopefully, she can pull through this and see, see the light at the end of the tunnel,
Right.
and
Right.
and maybe have a new perspective of life
Yeah.
from this, and then
I won't settle for
realize,
not with her.
yeah,
I won't let her
exactly,
settle for less.
yeah. So let's go ahead and shift gears for a second here. Share on YouTube says, "Hey guys, excited about today's topic."
Thanks for being
And
here,
then,
Share
and
Sharice.
Daisy's already got a fan. Ryan on YouTube says,
All right.
Daisy's. She's got her people watching tonight. So feel free to jump in on the comments and be a part of the program today. So let's talk about different type of trauma. We could talk about trauma within the relationship.
Mhm.
I mentioned earlier, like about, there's infidelity in a relationship, and that's traumatic between two people when everything's all peaches and cream and everything is glory, and you're having a great time, and all of a sudden you find out that your partner stepped outside the zone,
Right.
and that's traumatic to you, knowing that this person did this to you in the relationship, or you stepped out of the zone and you can't believe that you did that, then how, and you carry that guilt on
Mhm.
you. How do you fix it? Is it fixable? Is it repairable? I always say, you may forgive, but you'll never forget.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I've had quite a
So
few.
go ahead.
I was just saying I've had quite a few.
You've had quite. I think we all have had, or
Yeah.
most of us. I'm assuming. I can't speak for everybody, but a lot of people have had a lot of
Traumatic
relationships
relationships.
in that aspect. So what? So Greg, what would you handle? What would you do in a situation if there was infidelity in your relationship, or if you did have that? How did you cope?
That's a good question. I don't have a specific example in my head, but as I think about just kind of my relationship dynamics, I think the biggest thing is understanding and getting to what happened, right? Like why did it happen? Was it something where I wasn't meeting a need, or is there some need that you have outside of a relationship that is never going to be fixable, right? Like some things could be caused by yourself, right? Like if you're neglecting your partner, that's on you. If even they could be trying to voice it. However, it could also be that they're just never going to be satisfied with the attention they're getting from their partner.
Right.
So you kind of have to figure out what the root of it is, and then can you get past it, right? Like, because one of the things about trauma in a relationship is you're going to get triggered back into those things. There's going to be behaviors. There's going to be things that happen that are going to trigger emotion in you. And can you get past those, or is it going
Right. You're driving in a car and your partner looks over and sees somebody, and you're like, "Oh, wait a second, they got some eye candy going on over here," and then then the insecurities come out, right?
Right.
And then it's like, then you question that person. Are you ready to move forward? And then how tight of a leash do you put on that person once the infidelity happens in the relationship? is too tight, too tight.
I mean, I think that's where you have to be. You don't put a leash. You can't.
Why would there be a leash at all to have to put on somebody after infidelity?
That's what I'm saying. You can't. You just have to be like, this is my boundary. This is like, this is where I'm at. You are welcome to do what you want to do. However, here are the things that I need to be, and here's where you just have to be willing to walk away if they're not willing to come to the boundary. And it's not an ultimatum. It's strictly just respecting yourself and saying,
yeah,
this is what I'm looking for. And if this isn't you, I'm out.
Absolutely.
Daisy, I see you shaking your head. Did you want to chime in?
Yeah, I unfortunately have never experienced a relationship where somebody does not step out. And so I used to be the person saying like, absolutely not. I'm not going to be participating in this relationship. Then I went through the experience of trying to save a relationship, going to counseling, and trying to come up with those boundaries of what's going to be acceptable for us so that we can kind of make it work. And then I discovered after years of trying to do this that no matter how much you try, there still is going to be that hurt that's there. Whether it be the reasons why the person did it in the first place, they have that hurt that they have to deal with. And then the hurt on the person that was stepped out on. And so for me, it's like, it used to be a non-negotiable. Then it was, okay, well, we can kind of work through this. And now it's getting back to no, you chose to do that. And I don't want to live my life in this fear of what you're going to do again. I don't want to have the PTSD moments of the driving down the road and seeing something that reminds me of what you chose to do. And so it's like, if you want to be part of the relationship, then good. If you don't, then there's the door.
And Cher on YouTube says, I disagree. Physical abuse is not fixable, and mental abuse is rarely fixable. So let's just say abuse is 99.9% is not physical.
Yeah.
Okay.
The manipulation part of it.
I think she was replying to Ryan's comment above hers.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Okay, all right. Okay, so everything is okay. Ryan says everything is fixable other than lying and cheating. IMO, it's exactly what you said. You can always forgive. Forgetting is impossible. Then she said, I disagree. Physical abuse is not fixable.
Okay.
And mental abuse is rarely fixable.
Okay.
Let's just say abuse is 99.9% is not fixable or physical.
I don't disagree with her. I think one of the things about mental abuse, though, is you may not always know you're doing it, right? Like you can be manipulative without knowing you're being manipulative, right? And I think that's true for both sides of the house.
And Cindy Meinhardt on Facebook says Cher is correct. So she's agreeing with Cher.
I agree with her. I agree with her completely. It's hard to fix mental abuse. Physical abuse is absolutely not fixable. But to even repair a mental abuse is just hard. I don't know. Maybe it's just for me.
Can I add in a twist to this situation?
Yes.
Absolutely, you can.
What if this partner had a brain tumor that was causing them to do these actions? They get the tumor removed and they're back to their regular selves.
You still have to heal yourself. The person that's been victimized is going to have to heal themselves and heal that trauma, because that's going to trigger. They're going to see behaviors and things similar, right? That's going to trigger that emotion.
I know, but the people that are saying like,
I see.
Cheating is an absolute, like cheating, I won't take them back.
Dude, I really don't know what I would do.
Like, if it wasn't the partner's fault because of this tumor, is that still?
I'll say this. I used to be an absolute, like, this way, that way. I'm finding in my old age that I am no longer there. There's way more gray than I ever anticipated. It's never, I'd never do this or I'd never do that.
Right.
I don't think I could ever say that again. Like,
Right.
I find myself all the time going, I kind of understand, even when I have completely different belief structures. Like, I can understand other people's perspective as I get older.
Right. I'm the same way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, let's just say a couple lost a child. Okay, and you see this a lot, and that's traumatic in a relationship. So it's not that one was having infidelity against the other. They're a family and they lose a child, and that can be very the
Oh,
hardship is going to be very hard in a relationship, for doing that. And that's, a lot of cases where couples split after losing their child, you
Mhm.
know, how do you cope with that?
I
I got nothing on that one.
got nothing.
I can't even imagine what it's like to try to do
I
that.
can't.
I don't even want to think about it, to be honest.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's how I feel about that one too.
Mm-mm.
I know someone that their partner went and terminated without telling.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
You know,
I got you.
and it didn't necessarily end the relationship, like they stayed together, but there was always resentment on that
Gotcha.
side. He always thought about it.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
I know it's not like completely the same, but
Right.
Mm-hmm. And Cher on YouTube says lots of counseling happened to me and my best friend.
Counseling.
Sorry to hear about that, Cher.
Yeah.
Counseling.
That's going to be the key.
Right.
That's going to take individual work, relationship work. I mean, that's going to take all of it.
Mm-hmm.
did you see Ryan's comment
Mm-mm.
about brain
Which
tumor
one?
that causes behavioral issues?
No, what did he say?
Was it this comment here?
Yes.
Or the tumor isn't removable and you have to decide if it's something you'd be willing to take. My father has a tumor that causes behavioral issues and ended my parents' marriage.
Oh, wow.
And you guys look at me like I'm crazy.
No.
Wow.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly have no idea what I would do.
That's something that would make a relationship stronger or end it. There isn't really an in between with losing a child. Going back to the child part, he said, but
What?
with the brain tumor thing, that definitely.
Yeah, it's
Go ahead.
they're both hard.
I mean, the brain tumor thing, right? Like, I mean, I guess as I think about that, like, you're going to have to be willing to deal with it the rest of your life. It's kind of like dealing with a partner that maybe is a sex addict. And I know people joke about that, but that's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Mhm.
Right.
It is.
You have to deal with that. It's a compulsion that you can either tolerate it or you can't. Just like somebody that wants an open marriage, right? Like, you're either in or you're out. And it's whatever's healthiest for you. You have to be healthy. I mean, like, and if you can't stay in that situation healthy, you got to exit.
Right.
Mhm.
And you can't stay in it for the wrong reasons too. I mean, a lot of people, yes, I know that when you marry somebody, it says for better or rich, sicker or poor, all that stuff, but there's some circumstances that, you may have to break. And is it right? Even though you made those vows?
I mean, I think you make vows, but if somebody breaks the vow, you know, it's already broken, right? So at that point,
Right.
get out.
Yeah. Just because you made them doesn't mean that you have to suffer for the rest of your life either.
Right.
You know, it's the same thing like making a contractual agreement, like for a business opportunity.
Absolutely.
Like, you got to respect yourself and your boundaries, and that's really ultimately.
I agree.
Sarah said, working on the ambulance, I encountered the abuse from a head trauma patient. They really don't know it happened.
Hello.
I gave a lot of grace to those people, and I can't imagine that in a relationship, though.
I mean, I don't. I have a traumatic brain injury, and I have changed, but not to like an egregious percent. I don't
Well,
percent. What? I don't. Not that. I mean, noticeable, but not intolerable.
well, what if somebody has like a concussion, right? It kind of changes who they are. They're struggling. And they become somebody different than who they were when you first met them. Now, do you stay in that relationship because they change? Or even, what if they get into a situation where they have amnesia, But what's that movie?
The
50
vow.
or,
Date.
Oh,
The Vow,
sorry.
Yeah.
or
But
51st Dates, right?
well, there is 51st Stage, which is the short-term memory loss. And
Right.
then the vow, she has no recollection of like the span of their time together. She can't remember any of those years, so she has no idea who he is.
That's right. That's right.
And then so that it becomes, did they really fall in love for who they were? They spoiler, they did. They do.
Daisy, do you have any
It's been
input
out
on
a
that?
while, so
Yeah.
What are we talking about now?
Somebody
As far
has
as, like,
amnesia
amnesia.
or
Well,
concussion and changes who they are.
I
I
would
mean,
stay by him.
yeah, it depends. Like, are they going from, okay, we have this like baseline where our relationship is, and then now all of a sudden they have a concussion and they're this horrible mean person, right? Like, there's got to be levels to this. It's not going to be an absolute of, okay,
Yes
well,
or no.
yeah, now you got a concussion, so peace out. Like,
Right.
there's going to
Yeah.
be different levels of what you're going to be able to tolerate, because even in a relationship, we all change throughout the years. We
Right.
all grow and
Mhm.
we're different people anyways. And so it's like, what are you giving to me in this relationship? And is it something that like the love is going to overcome whatever the injury is, I guess, at that point?
Hmm.
And you can love somebody and not be in a relationship with them, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to like
Right.
Right.
that is true.
them, right, Meg?
That's very true. It's so true.
So what other traumas are there that you guys want to bring up that, from relationships?
What about the trauma you bring into a relationship, whether it be childhood trauma or the trauma from past relationships, whether you were
There
married
you go.
or whether you married an asshole, or, like those traumas that you bring in and those things that maybe come out 6, 9, 12 months in, that you've got to decide, how do we work through this? Because I could be doing something that reminds Daisy or Meg of an ex that was a terrible experience for them, puts them right back in that feeling and make them run.
Right.
And so they've had a bad relationship in the past, and they're starting a new relationship with you, or you had a bad relationship in the past, and you're moving into a new relationship with somebody else. You can't say, and a lot of people say, oh, I'm sorry, but this is what I went through, so you got to bear with me. That's not fair to the other person going into the new relationship because they had a bad relationship in the past, or people compare their last relationship to their current one.
Mhm.
I used to feel like that, but then Roger, like now I sit and I think how, if you put somebody back in that emotion, regardless of whether you meant to or not, they're still feeling it. It's still real to them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
how do you, and I'm not the best with empathy, so it's very difficult for me to verbalize this.
Maybe they're not ready to be in a relationship if they're still broken from the last one.
Right.
So a
Mhm.
lot of people get themselves covered up in new relationships to kind of, cover up the hurt from the previous one.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
you don't have to feel if you're getting loved again.
Right.
It's a temporary high, dopamine.
That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what people do. They don't work on themselves, to heal. And then when you get to that healing point, then it's like, okay, when I get into a new relationship, I can say maybe these things are still triggers for me,
Right.
having a vulnerable, open conversation about it rather than just lashing out on your new relationship.
Right. I've taken trauma into a relationship.
I absolutely have.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, like, dealing with something very personal right now with my grandmother, like she's in stages, and my dad is just, I don't even have the word, but hearing and seeing myself and the way I'm talking and communicating, like it's seeing my child talk to people, like I see myself in it, and like I hear my dad, and it was like realizing a lot recently how much change I need to have in the way I talk to people, because I can hear my son talking to his mother the way I don't want him talking, and I can hear my dad, and I realize he's hearing it from me
Mm-hmm.
when I'm dealing with him. And so like there's a lot of childhood trauma there with my dad. So just now coming to the
Right.
realization that I brought that into relationships in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Cher says, I should have fixed myself before remarrying. However, I was only thrown back into that trauma when he would be yelling and coming me in an argument.
I think she meant cornering.
Cornering.
Oh, I read that wrong. You're right. Cornering me in an argument.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So,
Well,
that's sorry, go ahead, Lydia.
no, because yours probably has to do with that, and I was going to switch topics.
It does, and I think this is a hard one for men, because I think men, we tend to go to anger as that first emotion, whether we're sad, hurt, depressed, whatever. Anger is our first emotion because that's what we're taught is safe, from childhood on, where women are a little more comfortable being vulnerable. And so like I had anger issues, and yelling is one of the ways I quickly deal and get my emotion out.
mhm.
And to Cher's comment there, like, yelling may just be his natural response because that's what he saw, right? Like, and so he's getting his emotion out and not realizing it's going to trigger something in her. Not to say that it's justified or anything like that, but it has a real impact on her because she dealt with it in her first marriage.
Mm-hmm.
He may,
or you got people that look at their parents and see how their marriage is, and that's how they think their relationship should be, because they mirror their parents. And if their parents are constantly fighting and yelling and screaming, they're thinking it's acceptable to fight and yell and scream in that relationship that they're in.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and I think it even goes more further than that. Like I did a lot of child psychology research, and when we're young, we start to develop like trust versus mistrust, and when we learn, if we're watching our parents, like, hey, this is how I'm loved. If you're being hit as a kid, you're taught that that is the love that you're going to receive. So then as you grow older, then you start to find relationships like, hey, you're being nice to me, you don't really love me, and it's a really crappy thing to say, but it is why kids end up in those cycles of abuse, because that's what we're looking for. We're craving that safety of this is how we were raised.
Mm-hmm.
I can speak about traumaticness that relates to this. um, I have to laugh about it so I don't cry about it. My father molested me when I was 5 years old.
Oh,
So I've dealt with that my whole life. And then I had recently found out that he also had done the same to my younger sister, and I didn't know that at the time. She had only told me about a year ago. So obviously, that relationship with my father did not last. I've not seen him since we moved out, and that was a very long time ago. So agreeing with Daisy, yeah, I looked for people that, gave me the extra attention and, because I thought that's what love was. And it's not.
that's all.
Dane Miller on Facebook says, we learn to love from our parents.
Agree.
I'm only going to disagree with that because I don't think my father's capable of love. So I don't want to believe that about myself.
I
Maybe
told
he's
my
not
kid,
capable of showing you the love or showing the love that he feels. Maybe that's what it is.
No.
No.
Absolutely not capable.
Oh, trust me, Greg's right.
He's not capable.
Greg's right.
So I don't want to harp on this, but just to put a point, my grandmother, who's 99, has broken her hip in October. She broke her femur in December, right at Christmas, and she fell the other night. He left her on the floor overnight because he did not want to get up and deal with her.
That's
Wow.
horrible.
Yeah, she's not coming home from the hospital because he doesn't want to deal with any more of the experiences in her own home. The text message I got was, I can't imagine what Gary has been through. Fuck what Gary's been through. I don't care what he's been through. His mother is the one I'm worried about, my grandma.
Mhm.
I have no compassion left for him. Sorry.
Do you think
No, you're
that
fine.
because of seeing how he is, though, that it changes how you love like your own kids, like to give them the things that you maybe didn't get when you were being raised?
1,000%. And when I see my behavior that I can saw from my dad, I am actively trying to change those things about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not always successful.
And Cher says, I'm so sorry that happened to your grandma. I agree with you 100%.
Thank you.
is it Cherie?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Is it true?
Sure. Yes, it is. I know. I was like, when can I tell you? She's so cute.
Oh, she's one of your followers.
Yes. Her, Ryan,
Hey,
and
Sherry.
Dane are all my followers.
And I think this conversation goes back to we could all be guest stars on the shit show.
Yes, you guys are all welcome to come. Seriously, everybody has a story.
Everybody has a story to tell. Yeah.
Without a
If
doubt.
you don't have a story,
Then you're boring as fuck.
No, you're just hiding it.
You
You're
just
not ready to come out.
That's it. That's it.
yeah. hmm So, Lydia, you said you had another traumatic situation you want to bring up?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Did
All
I?
Roger,
you
you
said,
tell us.
I wanted
You
to.
tell us
You
one.
said I want to change gears for a second, and then you were going to say something, but we were finishing up
I
another.
think that was back to her dad, right? Was that you were going to talk about your dad?
I don't think I had anything else to say about that man.
No, I was saying I think that's where you were
Oh.
in transition to that story when you were like this. No, you go ahead. That's why I was. Anyway, Roger,
Oh, that thought's gone.
Okay.
That's gone.
Roger, you tell us a traumatic experience.
Have you heard any more from the Facebook girl?
Which one are we talking about?
Oh God.
The one that you had gotten back together with just briefly, and then like 2 days later, she was in a relationship with somebody else.
Oh my gosh. No. No. I blocked her on everything. I
Oh,
said,
you blocked her.
screw that.
That's not
I'm like,
traumatic, though.
I just was.
yeah, that's not traumatic. Oh, he
no.
wants to know. He wants to know if there's a follow up to that
Yeah,
story.
I'm looking for the tea. Come on.
Put her in the graveyard,
Yeah, so-
Roger.
Okay, so I met this. So it's for the people who don't know, I met this girl back in when I first moved to Houston a couple years ago. We dated a little bit, and then we stopped dating. We touched base on and off, and then recently, well, just maybe about what was it, like a month and a half, 2 months ago, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. We decided to go ahead and give it a try. She wanted, we wanted to date, wanted to do this relationship thing. I go to Vegas, and then I don't hear from her all weekend. And then 2 days later on Facebook, it says she's in a relationship with some other guy. Like, what?
It's like a buffet out there, Roger.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was like,
You can't leave town for the weekend.
You should have. Yeah, you should have
Apparently
taken her
not.
with you.
oh God.
Dude.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that too.
Could
And
you
I was like,
imagine
I
she
was like-
makes that status when she's sitting next to Roger?
Right.
What would you do in that situation? Say you're at Starbucks. She's playing on her phone. She updates her status, and then you're taking a sip of your old cappuccino or whatever you drink. I'm just picturing you in my head as a cappuccino drinker. And you decide, hey, I'm going to check Facebook real quick. And you look at it, and you
You're
look
looking
at
at
her.
her, you're like, what? My text message to her is I screenshotted it, I sent it to her, and I said, what the fucking what?
But like, could you imagine had that happened in person? How do you
Yeah,
think
what
you
would
would
you
have
have said?
reacted if you were in person?
I don't know how I would react. I think I'd be in shock, but like,
Like, do you you'd be in shock? Do you think you would even be able to bring it up? Or do you just like not?
oh, I'd bring it up.
Or
I'd
do
be
you
like,
act like you
what's
didn't see it?
no, I'd be like, what's this shit?
Yeah. Somebody'd be wearing a cappuccino.
See, I would
And it would be
probably
me.
act like I didn't see it and then say I had to go home and block them.
Right.
Oh no, I got way more confrontation in me than that.
That's how I am.
Ryan goes,
I'm trying to
Ryan
live my
on-
life in peace from now on.
Ryan on YouTube said, tell her to give me the money I spent on her coffee.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know
Crazy.
what I would do. I'd run my mouth.
We know.
Oh yeah, you would run your mouth.
I'd
man.
run my mouth.
Oh, yeah, you'd be dropping every F-bomb.
I would. I would. I would.
We
Yeah,
know
I
you
think-
so well.
The older I get, the more I'm like, no, we'll just deal with it right now.
Right.
It's not even a text message. It's like I'm driving to where you're at. We're gonna
Yes.
discuss this.
Yes.
Pinned location.
Yes.
Yes.
That's where I'm at in life.
Life's too short to put shit on. Get it out of the way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What other traumatic experiences are there in relationships?
Get out. Get the fuck out.
Oh.
Yeah, who wants to get the fuck out?
Yeah, what do we watch?
The squirrel. Hold on.
I can't even.
I didn't know y'all.
I was
Yeah, we can hear all that shit. We hear all the
I was-
family drama
I was
going
trying
on.
to cover it up. And then nobody said anything, and I'll
Yeah, I had no idea. He's like in the on the other side of the basement.
Won't be here, guys. I'll be-
Oh,
That was behind you.
not anymore.
not anymore.
He's got the teenager haircut.
The squirrel.
Yeah,
talks.
I'm
The
gonna do,
broccoli hair.
The squirrel attacked him.
Oh, fun.
Welcome to the shit show. This should have been the introductory
I
episode.
know. Yeah. Can we video that again?
I told y'all. I
Just to
need
recap,
guest on that
everybody.
show.
So just to kind of recap, everybody, Daisy will be hosting a brand new show that I will be producing coming next month in March. It's called Daisy's Shit Show Podcast. People are going to tell stories of why or how their life is such a shit show. You know, I'm sure we're going to get a lot of laughs from people and be like, wow, is your life, did this really happen to you? You know? Daisy, I know we've talked about this and you brought this idea to me and you wanted to get this show launched. Just kind of elaborate a little bit more about what the show is going to be about.
Yeah. So kind of like Roger said, we're going to be bringing on guests. I'll kind of give my history of how my life has been a shit show and how I got to where I am. And then we're going to have guests come on, talk about their shit show life. Just kind of a way to open up like the floodgates so people can have a safe space to say what their life is like. Maybe somebody else is dealing with it, but they just haven't actually talked about it. So maybe hearing it from somebody else might make you feel better, or somebody's shit show life might be worse than what you're dealing with, and you might actually feel a little bit better about what's going on in your life. So pretty excited about it.
It'll be fun.
Popcorn ready.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Ryan says, I can't wait to be a guest.
Did you see what Cherie said?
I know all about them and I can add to them as well. It should be fun. So, just make sure you guys watch the Facebook pages. We'll be promoting it and letting you know when we're going to get the show launched. But it'll be sometime in March for sure. So it'll be good.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, most definitely looking forward to that.
And Megan already signed up to be a guest. So
yeah.
Yes.
Lord knows I've got the shit show.
If anything, it's going to bring people together, I think.
I think so
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I think so too. Everybody needs to know we're not alone in this. All this bullshit.
It's okay not to be okay.
Other people.
Exactly.
Yes.
I have to remind myself of that. Like, I cannot be the only one.
I actually have a hat that I have at home in Texas at my Houston studios, and it says "Shit Show Supervisor."
Oh, I love it.
That's funny.
Are you gonna wear that every time she does her show?
He better.
Yeah, I might wear it. You never know.
Good.
I got a shirt that says "Welcome to the Shit Show." I'll have to wear that when I'm on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I was planning outfits as Roger and I have been working on the production of this, and it's been very entertaining to say the least.
I bet.
Oh yeah, we've been going over graphics. We've been talking about scripts for the intro, and stuff. So yeah, once this show gets launched, it's going to be good. I'm totally excited about this project, and I'm like, really, Roger, you're going to add one more podcast to your plate? Really?
I said it in my head.
So
I won't lie. No offense to Daisy. I thought it was your show and she was co-hosting, but now that I find out that it's her show and you're producing, it makes it a little bit better, but still.
Yeah.
So it
was her idea. I'm putting the creation together as I do with all my projects, and I'm gonna relaunch Pirate Radio, hopefully in March. So yeah, I just keep on stacking up on my plate, but it's okay. It keeps me out of trouble.
I have a story that'll put these two things together. Roger, you being in Vegas and the shit show. Last time I was in Vegas, we went to Caesar's Palace. We were staying at Caesar's Palace for Gary and Rita's wedding, Meg. And we had been playing craps, and we're going back to the hotel room, and there was this woman walking in a white skirt on these like 27-inch heels, and she had shit down the back of the white skirt. It looked like a snake print, like going
I
down.
remember this so well.
I have a picture of her walking back
Yep.
to the hotel room in a white skirt. With
Yep.
shit line going down, like a big one. Like we're talking
Was
about.
her head high though?
It actually was a shit show.
I'm gonna need that in the group chat.
Yeah.
I
You
will.
gotta find
Re-
that
for
picture.
research.
She walking loud and proud.
You gotta find that picture.
She was barely
Sure
walking.
I remember
You
that.
gotta own it at that point, right? Like literally just own it.
Welcome to the shit show.
Yes. With you being in Vegas, it just kind of tied the two together.
Yes, I get it. I get it. I get it.
We could do live from the Vegas Boulevard.
Yeah, and then you just have a microphone and you're
Yes.
asking people about their shit show on the
Yeah.
wall.
That would be so
That
much
would be
fun.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
I could go around during the day with my phone and just record people telling their shit show stories, and then we can post it on. We can post them on the show.
You'll make
Yeah.
the net sock to a girl.
Oh God.
We'll make reels. We'll make reels of these and then get
Yes.
have them go viral on TikTok or whatever. Oh yeah, see, we got all these ideas going. We're all collaborating.
We got this.
I'm all about it.
All right, guys, we're gonna be back next week. Another new episode. I'll be back in the Houston studios next week. But yeah, it'll be a good time. Have yourself a great week. Roger the Wild Child show coming up this Wednesday night. Got some great guests. I got Jay Valor and Taylor Hughes, which will be their singer-songwriters. They will be on the show with us this Wednesday, and then we will be back next Monday. Got any topic ideas? Go ahead and message me or Megan or any of the relationship influencers here, and let us know if there's a topic that you want us to cover, and we'll be happy. And we can repeat a topic too, because we may have talked about it a year and a half ago, and we have a different audience now. We can still talk
Right.
about it. So,
New perspective.
Right.
yes. An awesome show tonight, ladies and gents. Thank you from Cherie. Thank you for
Can I just
being
say,
here.
Cherie, you are beautiful.
Absolutely. stunning.
Like every time he puts the comment up on the screen, I'm just like,
freaking stunning.
right?
Absolutely. And thank you for the
Thank you for
participation.
watching, right?
Right,
Thank you
right.
for being so interactive.
Yes.
Ryan was the other one that was interactive. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you,
Ryan.
Ryan.
People
thank you,
can
guys.
ask him for mustache rides now. He put up a picture.
Oh God.
What'll cost you a nickel?
I'm wondering if he's gonna
Alrighty, guys.
comment
Have
now.
yourself a great night. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Good night.
Good night.